Hello everyone, and I am extra excited and happy today because I have Elizabeth Karmel here, the original grill girl in the house, and I'm so excited because she's a female chef, you know, and she has done it all in the industry. She's a journalist that she's been writing a lot of food articles for Forbes and for many other brands, and she's a culinary entrepreneur, and she's written 4 books, and she's a best-selling author, and she's an award-winning chef. And Elizabeth actually revolutionized my accent. That's what I'm nervous.
I am a revolutionary.
Yes, she is, and because she brought the outdoor grilling accessible to women, because that industry is all very male dominant, and that's why I love it. And let's begin. But before that, I want to welcome you with a delicious champagne.
My favorite.
Yes.
And you know what? You are an expert saborer. That's also very male dominated. Very few women savor champagne.
So we are changing this industry and bringing in some
sip and one bite at a time.
At a time. Absolutely. Thank you, Elizabeth, for coming from Carolina, right?
Charleston.
Yes. And spending this time with me. I'm very, very grateful. And because I have a female chef in the house, everything was ready, and it's just the most help I've ever gotten. So thank you so much.
Advance.
And ready.
We were literally twiddling our thumbs, right?
Yeah, so we were just perfectly on time. So let's get this going and take a sip.
All right.
So I'll show
I trust you, but I'm going to step back.
You better. We got this. It's a little. It's a little,
you know what I
overflown today. But
always have a little paper towel ready. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. And
I love Opinel. Okay, Opinel, if you're watching, I know the guys behind this.
Yeah, you know everyone in the food industry
and all everyone,
the. Yeah,
I know,
pretty much
a few people.
A few people, quite a few,
including you.
Cheers to you, Elizabeth, and thank you so much again. And thank you guys for watching. So today, Elizabeth actually chose a brilliant recipe that is super versatile. So she has created this beautiful pumpkin seed pesto, and I have my version of pesto that I make with cashews. So we decided to make these 2 recipes for you and show how versatile it is, because you could use it in so many ways, and we prepped some things here for you going.
I mean, all your favorite foods, really. You know, what I like it on, you might not like it on, but what you like it on, I might not. So this is really a quick and easy blender sauce that doesn't have to be cooked. And it just shows that you can take, you know, most people cook the same 10 foods every week. There was a study done at Harvard that showed that. And think about what you order every single week. So like if you're a chicken person and you're so tired of your chicken, well, guess what? This pumpkin seed pesto will wake up your chicken salad. And I'm going to show you about that.
I like the wake up call here. And why are we making it with pumpkin seeds? Why did you choose that?
Okay, so I chose pumpkin seeds for a couple reasons. Number 1, and most importantly, I just launched Happiness Foods. They're sprouted and flavored pumpkin seeds.
And let me interrupt you here. These pumpkin seeds are out of this world. There are a few different flavors. There are natural ones. There are sea salt. There are coconut vanilla. There are garlic, zesty garlic, and they are just to die for. They are super crunchy because they are sprouted. The texture is unbelievable. The flavor is delicious, and they are ready for you. You don't have to toast, nothing. So whenever you're making something that requires pumpkin pumpkin seeds. You just sprinkle and also use it in your yogurt, the coconut one,
Right.
and the chocolate one. It's just unbelievable. You guys should try it. It's out of this world. Yeah.
Well, you know, today we're all looking to eat more protein, get more fiber, magnesium, zinc, other nutrients, right? Sprouted pumpkin seeds are easier to digest, and the nutrients are easier for your body to absorb. They call that bioavailable. And but because I'm a chef, I wanted them to taste great first and then be good for you, because they're inherently healthy. But if it doesn't taste good, people aren't going to keep eating them.
I agree, and you sure achieved it, because pumpkin seeds can be slightly bitter. You definitely taste none of that.
Right.
It's just, they are just absolutely incredible. I gave it to my daughter. She took it to her college, and she's happy. She can have now breakfast foods, especially like with her granolas, yogurts, and all that.
And
so
on the go.
Yeah,
I mean,
on
the
the
thing
go.
is,
It's great.
1 ounce, which is equal to a quarter cup, it has 9 grams of protein. I mean, that's a lot of protein, right? And it has 3 grams of fiber, and it's super, super easy to eat. You can eat them by the handful. But the reason that I wanted to make this pesto is I just had an idea that the pumpkin seeds would be really great in a pesto. And I kind of think that pesto, the traditional pesto made with pine nuts, is kind of tired.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times it separates, it doesn't emulsify well, and it just barely tastes like basil. And the craziest thing is I put this in a blender. 3 cups of basil, fresh basil,
Yes.
a little bit of arugula.
Yeah, that's another secret ingredient of hers, that arugula. Explain to us why you
so
chose
the peppery bitterness of the arugula really enhances the basil and actually makes it taste more basil-y. And then the pumpkin seeds are perfect for emulsification. And then, of course, we've got some lemon for brightness.
Yes.
And I love these new seedless lemons, because a lot of people buy lemon juice at the grocery store that is in the, you know, already, I know, don't look so horrified.
Really? They do that?
Yes, yes.
Isn't it easier to just get a fresh one?
Well, but people don't want to deal with the seeds. So there's this new,
boy.
I'm going to get a knife.
Oh,
Excuse
actually,
me.
yeah.
These new Australian lemons are called seedless lemons, and look at that.
How beautiful is
Isn't
that?
that amazing? There are no seeds at all.
No seeds, and they're just so juicy. You could see how much plump they are. It's just,
I know, and smell that.
smell insane. Yeah.
So anyway, the
next
great
to
thing,
Sorrento lemons, this ones would be the next one.
right. Well, Sorrento lemons are
Yeah.
pretty amazing. So there's still garlic in there, just like regular pesto. There's Parmesan cheese, just like regular pesto. But the combination of the lemon and the arugula with the pumpkin seeds and the basil makes it taste fresher. The emulsification is so beautiful. You can see right here how beautifully emulsified it is.
This color is absolutely
It's not
gorgeous.
separating.
No.
And you know, I made that yesterday,
You
as
did.
you know, because
Yes.
we were cooking yesterday. And the other thing that's so great is I make it in my smoothie machine, just like you do. I know you
Yeah.
use a NutriBullet. That's what we used
Yeah,
yesterday.
you could use any blender that you prefer, but
Right.
we love, you have the Ninja, I have the
Ninja one,
NutriBullet.
yeah.
Any of those would work, and you guys can scan the QR code for the recipe. Don't forget to do that. Yes.
And the best thing is you can make a big batch of it and you can use it all week, because it's great on so many things.
So what makes it to keep that color? The acid from lemon?
The acid from the lemon and just the combination of the
all the
pumpkin
green-
seeds and the arugula. I think the arugula helps, but of course the acid, you know, from the lemon. But I gotta tell you one thing. This is so interesting about Parmesan cheese. So, you know, if you grate Parmesan cheese in a blender or a food processor, you use a half a cup for this recipe. This is a half a cup right here,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
So a half a cup of this amount, which is the right amount, when you use a blender or a grater, or even if you buy it already grated, it's like this. Okay, so most people use the big holes of a grater, right?
Right.
But I love to use a microplane because it makes it just sort of pillowy and soft, and like, look at that.
Yeah,
But
it's
if you
just-
use a microplane, you need 1 cup.
Oh, so interesting. It's
So-
just that changes the amount because of the fluffiness. It just makes it lighter, right?
The air.
So that is something to keep in mind.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So better just use the microplane and use 1 cup of it.
Yes.
Correct.
So I made this yesterday, and the reason that I made mine and you made yours yesterday is because when you use this, sometimes you have to stop and you've got to mix it around because when you have so many greens, it takes a little while. And anyone that makes green juices knows that already. But you taught me something yesterday that was so great. So
finally, I taught you something because I've been learning from you all day long, yesterday and today.
So, of course, pesto has olive oil in it, right? And that's what the seeds emulsify, is the olive oil. And emulsification just means that it holds it together. And so it was kind of oily, right?
Yeah.
And I was struggling and struggling and struggling. But you came in with your big muscles, actually the muscle of your brain, because look everybody what she did. And I was going like this, and I was struggling and struggling. She took her hands, she went in here, and it opened right up. I've never done that in my entire life.
Really?
Yes.
That's incredible. That is actually really interesting. That is something so simple. I love basil. It's
unbelievable.
And something so simple you don't think about that you do all the time, but at the moment you notice that. And it's something to keep in mind that is easier to open.
Well, you know what? Yeah. I don't think you're stronger than I am. And I was like, how is she opening this? And I'm not. And then I just saw your hand was there. And so now that's what I'll do, because it is really a pain to open something that's oily,
when your hands are greasy. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Right. So anyway, it's been so much fun, like playing around with you. And one of the things that I know that was, we just sort of decided to do on the spur of the moment, because we were talking about Mexico City, and I was talking about one of my favorite dishes that I had in Mexico City yesterday, a Branzino that was butterflied. And before they cooked it, on one side they put a salsa verde, a green salsa, and on the other side they put a red salsa. A red salsa,
It's a very Mexican way of cooking, and we actually could use your beautiful pesto on our fish.
We could actually use one of each one.
Yeah, well, we could try that. Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Okay, all right.
So we prepared, it's just butterflied branzino here. We just put some fennel on the bottom and some lemons and a little bit of oil. And then we'll cook it just like this opened, right, Elizabeth?
Yes.
And we're just going to put on each side each pesto that we made.
Right. And it's on a plank, which you can use either in the oven or on a grill, which is great.
Okay.
And I'm going to let you put your sauce. Here's an extra spoon so we don't cross-contaminate on this side, and I'll put it on my side.
So my sauce, I'll just say quickly what it is. It's basically something like pesto, similar concept, but it's a little different in flavor profile. So I love the sauce so much because also it's super versatile. So mine has cashews, and one of the main flavor profiles here is the ponzu sauce, which is a yuzu citrus soy, right? And it has also the instead of the cheese, I use nutritional yeast, which gives a different also flavor profile. It's kind of a vegan sauce, and it just makes it a little, something new.
I love that. Yeah. Actually, the combination of cashews and nutritional yeast is so good that even if you're not a vegan, if you don't tell anybody that's what's in it, people will love it.
Yeah, I'm not vegan, but I like to try different types of things. We like raw foods and all the stuff. But so anyway, we have these two sauces now, and we're gonna stick it to the oven for 15 minutes or so. Here's that. You see, the colors are a little different because this one has the ponzu, which is a little brown, so it's not as bright. This color is beautiful, really bright pesto, and this one is more chunkier, and Elizabeth's sauce is more smooth. But this is how it should be. So, but that's what the beauty of it. They are different but similar at the same time.
So what I want to say is this is one of my signature things, is to make really full flavored food. I mean, big, bold flavors, but it's so simple to execute. So it tastes complicated when you eat it, but it actually is so simple to make. And that took us 60 seconds?
Exactly.
So, all right, I'll let you put that in the oven.
Put it in the oven.
And while you put it in the oven, I am going to take another sip of my delicious champagne.
Cheers to that. I'll join you on that. So how did growing up in North Carolina shape your love for Southern food and barbecue?
Okay, well, North Carolina, right?
That's already is the answer,
that's
right?
already the answer, right? And North Carolina, so barbecue is very regional, right? So people cook whatever they grow in the region, and they use the wood that grows in the region. So in North Carolina, there were a lot of hog farms. So the barbecue was all pig, right? It's all about the pig. And they would use hickory wood because hickory grows
all over
North Carolina, right? Nowadays, barbecue has sort of expanded. So, you know, no matter where you live, you pretty much can get North Carolina barbecue anywhere, Texas barbecue anywhere, et cetera, right? But when I was growing up, you would have to go to North Carolina to get pulled pork, right?
Yep.
And so I grew up with pulled pork. It was delicious, but it never even occurred to me to make it myself. And then I started working with Weber grills. And I fell...
Everyone knows Weber grills.
Everyone knows Weber grills, right? But I fell in love with outdoor cooking because I really believe it is the best way to cook food, bar none.
I agree with you so much.
Right?
And I'm so happy that you, as a female chef, got into that industry. Me growing up, even back home, I remember only men were at the grill. My grandfather, my uncles, but never my mom or my grandmother. It was always men who were grilling, and I was thinking it's only their thing. I didn't even cross my mind to go to the grill. It's just a forbidden thing.
Well,
so, and
I'll tell you a secret. Me too.
Really?
Me too. Yeah, but
I
then
thought it was like more my back home, cultural thing.
It's very male dominated, even in the United States. It's better now, but when I started this 25 years ago, almost 25 years ago, I created girlsatthegrill.com because I was like, oh my God, it's easier, it's intrinsically healthy, there's no cleanup. I can't stand to do dishes, right?
Me too.
The least number of dishes, the better, right? And so anyway, because of that, I was like, this is the best way to cook. And you can make everything. You can grill, you can cook roasted chicken. I mean, it's the best roasted chicken I've ever made. Beer can chicken is. We'll have to do that sometime.
Oh yeah, that we'll do it when we visit you.
Yes, come do it when you come visit me. But anyway, it tastes like the rotisserie chickens in France.
Oh my God.
You know, because it's vertical and there's the beer steaming, which gives it a little bit of a yeasty flavor and creates some depth of flavor. Anyway, I fell in love with the results of really good grilling and barbecue. And that's how it happened.
And are there any tips to people who just starting the barbecue journey? Because a lot of actually people are afraid of the grill. They don't know where to begin. And I was there, so I could totally see that. I'm sure so many people are afraid and they don't know how to go about it because it's so different than the regular stove and oven, and also the meats and the vegetables, all of the things are different, the cuts. So maybe some tips that they will take away and be really happy about.
So the dirty little secret is...
I like that. We're already starting with dirty secrets, okay?
Yes, it's a dirty little secret. I'll tell you, the dirty little secret is it's not that different from your indoor cooking. If you take the principles of indoor cooking outside, then you literally can make anything you want on the grill. So, number one, you need to know the difference between direct and indirect cooking. And if that sounds like gibberish to you, I'll tell you.
Yeah, tell us
what
it means.
Direct cooking means there's heat underneath the food. So when you saute something on a stovetop, there's heat underneath the food.
Right.
That's direct cooking. When you roast something or bake something in the oven, that's indirect because there's no heat underneath it. The heat rotates around the food, and every grill has to have air because fire lives on oxygen, right? And so every grill is like a convection oven. Convection ovens have fans in them, right? And so if you set your grill for indirect heat, which means there's no heat directly underneath whatever you put on it,
right?
Then the heat goes around it and it roasts and it bakes, and that's what barbecue is. Barbecue is only indirect heat, and the difference...
So different types of grills. Or you could set your grill on
You
different...
should be able to set any grill you have, either direct or indirect heat.
You got that, guys? Yeah, okay.
Direct or indirect heat. And just for people who think that grilling and barbecue is the same thing, the real difference is you can grill roast something over indirect heat, but it's barbecue if you add a kiss of smoke.
Yes.
So it's the wood smoke that really makes that traditional barbecue.
Barbecue, yeah, that smokiness. I just love that. The barbecue ribs, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I just made some last week. They were so amazing, so amazing. But speaking of cookouts,
yeah,
one of the things that I love to do with this pesto is make pesto salad. You know, pesto salad is one of those things that people take to cookouts or to picnics or gourmet food stores, you know, serve it with your sandwich. And it never gets eaten because it's not worthy of being eaten, right? But with this pesto, like I just want you to taste how basil-y it is. Here, that's a little taste for you. Isn't that amazing?
Absolutely. Basil is my #1 favorite herb, and it's just so powerful in its flavor, and that acid from lemon is just really brightens it up, and also the cheesiness, but it's just
and it has
amazing.
such a great texture, right?
Texture is like a creamy
Yeah,
texture.
it's not gritty.
No,
it doesn't have any off flavor at all.
It's the best pesto I've ever tried. I am not a big fan of pesto, but this I love because it's not oily, greasy the way we used to like. That I'm used to this oily pesto.
Exactly.
It's just like I don't want all of this oil.
No.
But this is opposite of that. So that's why it's so delicious. And I love the pumpkin seed in it as well. It doesn't overpower. It's just all about the basil actually.
Right. I know. When I tasted this, I got so excited about it. and that's why we're doing it here today because I was like, this is the best pesto I've ever had. I will never make pesto any other way. And every single thing I put it on, whether it's like grilled antipasta.
So we have all the spread for you guys, and tell people how they could use it because, you know, sometimes we get confused with it, but I think it's so easy. Look at it, what we have.
Well, so one of my favorite things to make, and I make this almost everywhere I travel, and I make it at home all the time when I have people over, is grilled vegetables. And you know, if you take grilled vegetables, any vegetable, whatever's your favorite, but I like to make sure that there's a range of color too. And then if you actually, when they're warm off the grill, put a little bit of the pesto on it, then it absorbs the flavor of the pesto.
Oh, it just melts,
And it's just great. And that I borrowed from Italy, right? That's why it's a grilled
antipasti platter.
Platter, right. And it's so impressive. I mean, when somebody goes to serve themselves, whether it's at a table, family style, or a buffet, you know, that you eat with your eyes before you taste with your palate. And I mean, who doesn't want to?
Yeah, I want to dig into that.
Right?
And the beauty of this pesto is that, you know, we all have the family gatherings and, you know, Sunday brunches, and you could prepare all of these delicious foods and experiment. There's so many things you could do with it. That's why I love that it's super versatile.
And you can prepare it in advance like we did yesterday. And then who doesn't love a caprese salad? That's one of my very favorite things, even though that is like, you know, oh, I've had a million caprese salads. So this is a twist on a caprese salad. It's little baby, you know, cherry tomatoes, which this time of year are the best tasting tomatoes at all. And then it's small pieces of fresh mozzarella. And then the pesto is on top. So you don't have to worry about the fresh basil. And literally, if you were at a cocktail party, you could make them a little smaller. So maybe 2 cherry tomatoes and 1, you know, mozzarella ball. Or you could even serve it like that. And people love food on a stick.
Yeah, it's so easy and so beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then when I have this in my refrigerator, you know, sometimes I put it on sandwich, sometimes scrambled eggs, but I love cottage cheese. And cottage cheese is also a great source of protein. It's very trendy right now. People are really into cottage cheese.
Foods and trends, it's a thing now.
It is. And so I love putting the pesto on top of cottage cheese, sprinkle a few more pumpkin seeds on top of that, and then just eat it. And I mean, that's no cooking at all.
So good, yeah. Very, very easy. And like you said, you could just make a lot and put it in a mason jar, keep it in your fridge, and pop it out anytime you want some.
Right, right. So I want to taste your sauce,
All right.
and then you can tell me what's in it.
Maybe you could put it on the potato.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Really?
I
You
taste
like it?
mint.
Oh yeah, by the way, the flavor profile of my sauce. So
Wow.
I make it with 3 different herbs, which creates its flavor. So the main herb is cilantro, but the secondary herb, which is the main herb in the end of the day, is either mint or tarragon or also basil. I decided to choose mint today.
Wow.
Because of all our spread. But depending on your flavor, you could use any herb, and you don't taste any cilantro anymore. You just will taste the main herb that you want it to be. So that's it. And I just love that it's also super versatile. You could use it cold. You could use it with pasta, with anything. So I'm glad you liked it.
You know what
Let
is
me
so
taste
great
it.
about it is that, cilantro is one of those polarizing herbs, right? Some people like it, some people don't.
like it,
But
yeah.
guess what? The flavor on your tongue is like 80% mint, and then just a teeny tiny hint
Do you
of
taste
cilantro.
some cilantro?
I do, a little bit.
Yeah, because you have a good palate. You taste it, but most people wouldn't even taste it.
Right, but that's a great way to sort of, introduce cilantro into people, because cilantro is so
Very
delicious.
powerful.
And
Not everybody loves it. Like my
right.
best friend Tanya. Hi, Tanya. I know you watched me. She hated cilantro, and she started loving it because of the sauce.
Yeah.
And now she's obsessed with cilantro. She always buys it. I basically changed her perspective completely on cilantro.
See, people
very
need to try things.
Yeah.
And you know what? That is the one thing that I have done my entire life is try new things. I love to learn things. And so, people ask me, what's your favorite recipe? And I hate that question. I know you hate that question.
Oh,
too.
yes. We sure do hate that. Right? Yeah.
But you know what my answer is? And I'm not being flippant. It's the truth. My favorite recipe is whatever I'm making right now.
Exactly.
And that's actually why, when you guys invited me here, I had just created this. And I was like, I know what I'm going to make because I'm so excited about it. I
You're
want
so
everybody to
passionate
make
about
the
it.
pumpkin seed pesto.
Yes, it's absolutely unbelievable, and I'm so happy we are doing this together and trying this new different things. It's incredible.
It is. It is. So does it smell like the fish is ready, or do we have time to make the chicken salad?
Oh yeah, let me check the fish
Okay.
here.
If the fish is ready, we'll look at the fish and then
it's
I
totally
can smell.
ready.
I've got the
Wow,
nose knows.
looks beautiful.
Look at that. Oh my gosh, you put it here and I'll close the.
Yeah. Look at this beautiful fish. Let me just get it closer to you guys.
Okay.
So we got 2 pestos, and our fish is looking gorgeous.
Look at that. Oh my gosh.
Let's taste it. I like.
Okay.
I like.
All right. All right.
Fish.
It's going to be hot, hot.
It's all right. Okay.
Okay.
Get that.
Our
I'll
little
take a little bite of this side and then the other side.
Okay. I'm going to do that too because this is milder than yours. Look at that Branzino. Okay, so Branzino is like chicken. People usually make it one way. All you Branzino lovers out there, make it like this.
Yeah, try it a different way because there's so many flavors you could try. Amazing.
And the great thing about using this sauce to cook with is it seasons the food. We didn't even really season it.
No, we didn't put any salt, anything. Just a touch of olive oil, and it's just all seasoned for you. I like it. It's really, really good. And it's also so beautiful to serve at your home. It's just really...
Oh my gosh.
Really great way. Yeah, they're different and they, at the same time, kind of similar, but still different, which I like.
But you know what's brilliant about this is, one of the reasons we love food with texture, and like these pumpkin seeds are super crunchy, and that's one of the reasons besides the flavor that people can't stop eating them, but you get bored.
Yeah.
So like now you have 2 flavors in one fish, so it's perfect.
It's perfect, yeah.
I
Thank
love
you.
that.
Thank you. I love it too. It's beautiful.
All right, so that's our spontaneous.
This was just a spontaneous thing.
I've never done it before.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to get the chicken. You can ask me anything while I...
Yeah, I just want to show you guys that Elizabeth written all these awesome books. Pizza on the Grill, the Soaked, Slathered, and Seasoned, and steak and cake, which I want to ask you. This is a very weird combination, right? But it's also intriguing. Would you like to do more steak or cake, baking or grilling?
You know, for an American, it's not a weird combination because it's everyone's favorite Saturday night meal.
You're so right.
Steak and chocolate cake, right?
Yeah.
And that book was a real passion project. That book came out of a class that I taught for years at the Culinary Institute of America. The Institute of Culinary Education in New York City. Sorry, Rick Smilo. He's the owner.
Okay.
He's the owner of ICE. Anyway, it's ICE for short. I taught that for years, and because it's a fun Saturday night class, and it was a recreational class, and people had such a great time because they got their favorite Saturday night meal, which was steak and cake, and they got to learn how to make it at the same time. So in that book, there are steak recipes paired with cakes. So
your main course and your dessert, it's already there. It's a brilliant idea.
And sides and sauces and whatnot. So if you want to give a dinner party or you just want to, cook steak for yourself or, your family, you can just pick one of those combinations and it's already done for you.
That's so awesome. And you can, guys, get these books on Amazon, correct?
Yes.
And I love the name of this one. It's called Taming the Flame.
Yes.
So powerful.
So that was my very first book.
This is the first, I figured,
I wrote it about 19 years ago, 20 years ago. And
when the grilling was forbidden for women, but you got through.
You know what? That was my love letter to grilling, barbecue, and Southern food.
Yes, I love that. It's so beautiful.
So there are also recipes in there for cakes and for sides and also for libations. I love mixology. I love wine and beer too, but I really think mixology is super fun. And it's like when you have a welcome cocktail when people come over, that is, that really makes them feel like it's a special event, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And what is unique about your approach to baking?
So my approach to baking, it's all about simplicity and flavor.
I love that because baking could be really overwhelming.
Right.
And a lot of people don't like it because it's just like you don't know where to begin. And if it's simple enough, it's doable, right?
Right. But also you want a big payoff when you bake because baking, unlike cooking, is all about science, right? So you have to measure, especially if you're baking a cake, you have to measure. And so you want the flavor to be explosive or delicate, depending on what you're making. And you also want it to be, you want the payoff to be bigger than the hassle of making it.
Yeah.
That's really it.
I like that. So you made it simple enough for us to bake it properly and then get the most rewarding flavor profile.
Plus, everything is just to die for delicious. And there are some unusual combinations.
I might start baking, Elizabeth.
You should.
And I got my book.
I just want to say, I use enough sugar to make it sweet and have the flavors balanced.
Yeah,
but it's not too sweet.
Yeah,
right.
Nobody wants it too sweet.
I certainly don't. So this chicken salad, which I told you is going to change your chicken salad eating life. We poached the chicken.
Very simple, yeah.
We shredded it.
Some stock and some wine and a little bit of water.
Right.
And you don't need to season it even because this is our seasoning as well.
Right.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, if you don't feel like poaching the chicken, just buy a rotisserie chicken and shred it.
Yeah.
And then
very simple.
And then you add the pesto and you just mix it up and that's it. And you can add some cucumbers. That's kind of nice. You can eat this with an avocado if you want, with cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, that's up to you. You could play with it. Yeah.
Make it into a sandwich, however you like to eat chicken salad. So let's see what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yes, please.
I'll give you.
I got my fork.
Okay, I'll give you a clean fork.
All right.
Just in case we share this with anyone else.
We're not gonna.
Okay. So.
Who knew chicken could taste that good? Amazing.
I mean, really? That is Wouldn't you rather eat this than a mayonnaise loaded chicken
no,
salad?
No.
Which I do like sometimes, but
no, but I prefer to. This is loaded with healthy ingredients. Why would you want to go for that, right?
Right.
Actually, yesterday I found.
I'm going to put this over here.
Remember, Elizabeth, when I found that tuna in the fridge? When we had our Monday event, I had some tuna left, but I didn't know there is tuna, which was fresh, but I wouldn't use it anymore for tostadas or raw. So we poached yesterday this beautiful tuna with fennel and orange zest and chilies and everything. And I put even ginger and shallots. Poached it slowly in olive oil. And today I could show you how we also can use it with this.
Either one of the sauces, it would be great.
Doesn't matter. Yes, absolutely. So the tuna is here, and it's so cool. You could keep it in a jar. Like you said, the buying tuna in the jar is like $10 for this tiny little thing, but you could make at home super easily.
Well, olive oil tuna is all the rage right now.
Yes, exactly. So these are. This is the fennel, and it's so good, and I just love fennel. It's really good for your digestion. So here's some tuna that I poached, and we're gonna add both sauces, and we're gonna try.
Okay.
And I like to eat it like in a salad, you know. So we have some arugula, I have some scallions in here.
I mean, you could also even take these chunks and make it into tuna salad.
Yeah, absolutely. You could do whatever you want. So we'll try the tuna, and everything is going to taste different at the same time because of the stuff you serve it with, right?
Right. Well, the great thing about this, Edvina, is that we didn't throw it away. You know, I'm a big proponent of zero food waste.
Look at this, guys. Sorry for my chewing.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. So good, so fresh.
And it's so easy to poach tuna in olive oil. You just heat it up and then let the tuna slowly cook in the hot oil and all the aromatics.
For 5 minutes, very, very like on your slowest temperature after you cooked up all the other ingredients. And that's it, it's done.
That's so
delicious.
Good. But you know what? That's the great thing about cooks in the kitchen, right? Is you look and you see, you open the refrigerator and you say, what do I have here that we need to use? And you can make something like that, which is spectacular.
Yeah, that wasn't even planned.
No.
And I loved, last night I told you, you know, I was here, you were there, we were doing all this together. And I said, I feel so homey with you. I feel like back home with my mom, with my sisters, with my cousins. It's just so nice that, you know, I have you. And I don't usually have that. So it was very special. Thank you for that.
Well, you know what? I think that the real glue last night in the kitchen, and I can tell this is going to be a long friendship, is passion. So if you get two cooks together that both have passion and are excited and are creative, you're like, hey, what can I do? It's not drudgery.
No,
it's fun.
The outcome is this.
Right.
And what is your most favorite barbecue food? And if you had to, you know, have guests, and what would you make? Like your go-to, and who would be your guest at the table?
Well, that's another question that changes, you know,
yeah,
all the time, right?
Exactly, right.
But the truth of the matter is, I would probably cook whatever I'm most excited about right then.
At the moment, yeah.
If it's true barbecue, which means low and slow, I would have all my favorite barbecue foods there, because I am an equal opportunity barbecuer. So I grew up with North Carolina style barbecue. I fell in love with Texas style barbecue and created a restaurant that was highly acclaimed in New York City. And so I got really into Texas. The great thing about Texas is they cook all the different proteins. So you have brisket, and you have ribs, and you have beef ribs, and you have turkey, and as well as pork. And North Carolina.
I always want to try that turkey that they deep fry. It looks so crazy, but I don't know. Or a smoked turkey, right?
The smoked turkey is way better than deep fried.
Of course.
Right, because the deep fried just tastes like fried chicken. You know how fried chicken, the crust tastes like is really great, but
when you smoke
the inside just tastes like. But the smoked turkey is like.
Yes, it's probably the only way to do your Thanksgiving turkey, right?
It is my favorite way to do a Thanksgiving turkey.
If you could give one piece of advice to women in the food industry, what it would be? I need one.
Okay, I'll tell you. Follow your passion. Don't worry about being famous. Because if you're passionate, you're consistent, and you have clear communication and a story, that's really important, having the story, the celebrity will come. And that's really it. And it's not about the celebrity. These days, people go to cooking school because they want to be a celebrity chef.
That's always a wrong direction within any industry, right?
Yeah.
If you're just after the money only and the fame, then it's never going to bring you anything because there's no true passion. Right.
And you have to be authentic. You have to be your authentic self. Not everyone's going to like your authentic self, right?
But that's
You
fine.
can't worry about that. You have to have a tough skin and just stay true.
I sure do. I really don't care. I know what I am. I know what I love. And what I love about you being also very authentic and being very direct. And that's the way I like how, you know, to see people. It's much more genuine and much more honorable.
Yeah. Well, and also you get to have fun.
Yeah.
Guess what? You get to do something next. Because
And what's next?
What's next? What's next for Elizabeth Karmel? Okay, everybody out there, I want to make Happiness Foods a household name.
Happinessfoods.com.
And truly I do, because we're all looking for happiness. And they've found out that the food you eat is actually it makes a big difference on your mood, right?
Absolutely true.
Our
so
tag,
stop eating all the junk food and eat this healthy goodness that will influence on you, on your brain, on your mind, on your body, on everything. And it's absolutely correct. So get to the happinessfoods.com, buy this delicious pumpkin seeds, and you really, they are very addictive, so be careful.
Yes, but one other thing people need to do, buy pumpkin seeds for sure. But the other thing is you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel.
And also you could follow Elizabeth and Elizabeth Karmel on Instagram. Subscribe to my channel, and we will have every Thursday another interesting guest. And I'm very, very grateful again, Elizabeth. Thank you
so much for having me. This has been cheers.
And thank you guys for watching.
To us.
And don't forget to scan that QR code and subscribe. Love you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, mwah.
Let's keep eating.
Okay. All right.